What's going on, guys? Welcome to part number 2 of starting a clothing line from scratch. In the first video, we did a collaborative work with the man Mark Mendo, where we actually dived into everything in regards to the designing and the branding of your clothing line. And in this video, we're gonna dive into everything associated with actually making your products. That means the printing process of this. And more importantly, we're gonna dive into the differences between DTG and screen printing. So in this video, you guys are gonna learn all of that. If you're a new visitor to this channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bells for the latest videos associated with building your brand and business from the ground up. All right, let's head inside and let's jump into everything that you're gonna need to know in order to build and print and make your products from the ground up. Let's do it. So today we're actually coming into InkedApparel with the man Julian, who's the manager of this location. They do a variety of different printing. What up, dude? Thanks for coming out. Thanks for having us out here for sure. Dude, so like I sent a couple files over to you a few days ago in regards to the printing, what we're gonna need. And just wanted to go over that stuff with you guys and kind of share your knowledge and your insight into the printing process and what people may need to know before they start a production run.
Right, yeah, we did receive the files, and if you come back here, I can show you exactly what's going on with that. So this is the file you guys sent to me, which is actually a great quality file. It's an EPS file, which it's a vector. Makes things a whole lot easier. We get a lot of people in here that are bringing these files that are JPEGs and pictures, and they want us to come in and do magic with them, and you know, it's not possible. It's not possible to get a quality print
right
out of a file that's not correct.
Right. So like, what's the difference between having like a JPEG and having an EPS or a vector file?
Well, a vector file is all outlined, so it's the cleanest form you're going to get. You can take that file and stretch it out to 1,000 feet by 1,000 feet, and it's not going to be pixelated as compared to a picture, a JPEG or something like that. It's an actual picture, so the more you stretch it, the quality's just not going to be there. It's going to look bad.
So it'll look like our MySpace profile pictures from like back in the day.
Pretty much, yeah, pixelated and not good.
I don't know if you guys had MySpace or not, but those those photos look pretty bad if you try to log in. I think they just deleted all of them. What are some of the things that you guys look for in artwork for printing wise? Like, obviously you want it to be in vector, but is there like a certain color scheme or PMS codes that should be associated or anything like that when it comes to the colors?
Absolutely. If you do want us to hit a certain color, we would require you to bring the PMS colors or put them in the file, and we can take it from there.
Got it. So then how do you guys like go about actually making those mixes in the back? Is it like a certain table that's like universal? So whether you're working with you guys or working with somebody else, those PMS colors are universal to everybody?
They are. It's a Pantone mix. Everybody follows the same formula. It's all done by weight. So I mean, it should be pretty much dead on everywhere you go.
So we got good working files. So then from here, we literally, what's the next stage after they send you the working art files?
Well, after this, we'll print some film. After we get the film printed out, we put them on the screens and burn the screens.
Oh, cool. Let's go check out that process. Damn. So we got the screen.
All right, guys. So we just burned this screen for you, fresh off the exposure unit. That's the process that you do after you get your artwork set up, you get your colors separated, then you go to your computer, you print out a film, and you burn it in the exposure unit.
What's going on right here for people that are watching?
The process of this is you have a blank screen, and it's going to be the color of the silk right here. You have to spread your emulsion on it. You take your film, you tape it up, and the film is pretty much just going to be a clear film with black ink. Once you burn it, it burns that image right into the screen. You take a pressure washer and you wash it, and this part is gonna start falling off, and then you get your nice image that you see here.
For the purpose of this video, we wanted to make sure that we just jumped right into the action of it. So as you guys can see, the screens are already ready for us to use. But she's gonna show us how this stuff actually loads up in the t-shirt printer and designs start getting made.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. So we do have a job set up here, but I'm gonna, just for the sake of showing you, show you how to load a screw up in this thing. It's a little tricky, but it's pretty quick. All you do is just slide it in here. You wanna make sure you get as center as possible. The first screen is gonna be the easiest to do. It's lining up the colors after it, that's the tricky part. You gotta register it and make sure all your colors line up, or it's gonna look like a mess. So for this machine, all you do here, once you load it in, just set the clamps and you're ready to rock and roll.
Oh, so then is that the reason why that you guys, like when it comes to screen printing, there's so many minimum order quantities is because of the setup?
Yes, the setup. takes quite a bit. It's not as easy as, you know, I just made it look loading the screen, and single color jobs will be that easy, but it gets a little more complicated once you have multiple colors. We put these little registration marks here to make it easy when you lift the platen up to the screen. You can make sure all the colors are lining up, but even still, that's a little hard. That's why you have your micro adjustments here. So you can just kind of, you know, inch them front and back, side to side, whatever you need to do.
Right, so when it comes to screen printing, you gotta have multiple screens if you're doing multiple colors.
Exactly, you have to have, it's one color per screen essentially. So if it's a full color job, you know, we'll have all these heads filled up here.
All for one design, right?
For one design, yep.
So that's the key part of t-shirt printing, is that if the more colors that you wanna have in your design, the more screens you gotta have, and a little bit more cost, right, for each screen that you guys are creating. Because that burning process is associated with each step of the design, right?
Exactly.
Got it. So then, you guys used to have a DTG printer here too, right?
Yeah, so we actually started out with DTG, and we had just sold our machine. It's a bit of a finicky process, the whole pre-treatment and holding up in the wash, and but I mean, each method has its place in the market. This is good for volume for sure. You could, you know, bang out hundreds of shirts an hour. The DTG, realistically, you could do about 10 full-size images an hour, so you could see where that would be a bit of a problem if you have more, you know, high volume business. But you know, we do get people walking in that just want one-offs or small orders, or you know, something full color, and they don't want to pay, you know, the $25 per screen setup fee. So it has its place, but you know, this is a little bit better for our speed here.
Because your guys' business is primarily more larger volume business, right? So
Right.
you guys, so the t-shirt printing is a really easy add-on to your services.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Cool. So then, so what happens after the screen is set? How do you guys choose what type of inks somebody should use? Not what type of inks, but what type of printing method, whether it's plastisol, maybe water-based, or discharge, like how do you guys decide on that?
So we actually currently only do plastisol. We haven't gotten into the water-based yet, although I want to because it's more environmentally friendly, but it's a lot more difficult of a process, and we just didn't want to get into that yet. So we only do plastisol.
Only the plastisol. Got it, got it. And plastisol is real straightforward, and it's what we're doing today, right?
Exactly, yep.
And it's long-lasting too?
Very long lasting. It's going to last you life of the garment.
Got it, got it. So yes, guys, there's those three major ones. There's obviously plastisol, water-based, and you have discharge as well. But a lot of shops, I would say, really focus on plastisol.
It's the easiest,
yeah. And it's very straightforward, and it's a really good quality garment. So when it comes to like, what would you say is something that compares with the quality of DTG when it comes to screen printing? Like, would you say that the plastisol can also mimic the DTG, or?
Oh yeah, it can mimic it for sure. It really just lies in the difference between those is the washability and how long it's going to hold up. This is what you're going to want to go with.
Got it. Cool. So let's dive into some of this printing. What's next?
All right. So next, pretty much we just got to load the squeegee up. We got to slap the ink on, and we can get rolling here.
Cool.
Okay. So we're just going to do a little sample run here. I have an old shirt to use, so we don't really have to line it up or anything.
You guys usually do a sample run on every design
Yes.
you guys bring in.
Yes,
Yep.
we have boxes of shirts called thirds that we get from Apparel that are like damaged shirts
Oh,
that
yeah.
they can't sell.
There's holes in there.
Yeah, it's like 17 bucks. So we have those laying around.
How much?
And,
How much do these ones run you guys? Like when it comes to the seconds like this, like for the entire box, like how many pennies or how many cents a shirt?
I mean, you get like 80 something shirts for $17. So
That's it?
it's the cheapest way to do it. Really, they sell felt pads and stuff you could do, but those are not cheap. And we found this out and we're like, this is the way to go.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna run this over here. You've got to make sure this bottom part is lined up with that little bracket there, or else when the whole table goes to lift up, it's gonna be a bad thing if it's not lined up at least a little bit. So this is print head 1. So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna flip on print head 1. I'm gonna send a sample print really quick. Now this here, we're just doing this to get the colors registered. So right now our white screen's set up, and then there's gonna be orange in the design. So once we do the white, we tend to do 2 coats, so let's send that right now. Then we're gonna go dry the white. Once it's dried, we're gonna send it on over to the orange screen. And we're gonna raise the table up so the palette is right against the screen. You're gonna be able to see the registration mark. And on the orange screen, you're gonna try to line it up as best as you can. So now I'm gonna send a flash.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You guys have it right here.
And it was
you don't have
very
to move
quick.
it or anything.
No,
That's cool.
It's totally dry. Those light bulbs are so freaking hot. All right, this is turn off the auto.
Wow, that's really cool. So the first pass.
Now we did 2 passes there. Usually it looks like that, but it's fine. Once you go to lay the orange on top, it'll be all right.
Got it.
So we're gonna come over here to the orange screen. our master registration man, Julian's gonna line this up for us.
So right now, let me turn the slide on so we can get a better view. We have the white laid down on the shirt. So we're gonna go ahead and lift our table. And now we can see where we're at here. So we can come in and align the screen.
But once this is set, once you guys set it for the first one, it's good for all the others. You just run it.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Just run it through. But even when it came to like DTG printing, you guys still had a lot of adjustments to make for each design, right? Like when it came to using DTG, you guys had to do a lot of like adjustments to the actual design sometimes for the.
Those are all done in the computer though.
Right. Okay.
Those are adjustments you make in the file, in the ripping stage of the process.
Right.
As opposed to, these are all manual adjustments here.
What were some of the challenges you guys had with running a DTG? Like the learning curves, or like some of the challenges you guys had with running a direct-to-garment printer?
The learning curve is huge. I spent about 6 months doing nothing but that, and I finally just kind of gave up on it. It's really, you have to be testing all your garments before you send them out, or they'll crack, they'll peel, they'll fade, weird things will happen. And I mean, I kept pages and pages of notes, and you just get to a point where you want to deal with more volume, and this stuff is kind of just like the DTG is kind of just like, man, it's too much. I can't focus on other things if I'm doing this unless you are experienced and you know what you're doing. So that was a huge challenge. I personally wanted to keep the machine because I see the place for it, but we wanted to at least downgrade to save on costs. What's
been a learning curve with screen printing so far?
You have to be able to look at a design and know what colors you want to print first. That was kind of a learning curve for us. In the beginning, we used to use the heat press, and for like certain brands of inks, if you put too much pressure, it's just gonna spread the ink. I mean, it's just when you think you got it, like another thing happens. So there's definitely a learning curve in screen printing. Not so much as DTG for sure. We're already kind of like rock and rolling with this, but still a learning curve. Off by a hair. And that white looks a little dull because, you know, when you first get going, what everybody does is they'll heat up the platins under that flash because the white is so thick that, you know, we're going to have it look like that until it's a little more fluid.
Got to do a few more shirts.
Got it. So that's what
a few more test prints.
You see, even when, you know, you messed around with this for a while and you think, okay, I got it, you're off by that little hair. Like I was just saying.
Yeah, barely. So now that we got the screen set up and the ink is ready to go, we're ready to start the production with the designs and the styles that we brought from Bella Canvas. So the reason that we went with Bella is the different styles that they have for the fast fashion collection, as well as the consistency in print. As long as you get it from a reputable supplier, you'll know that you'll be able to get good ink and good print on the designs that you're going with. So now that we got this thing started, let's get it. So now that everything is set up, what's next?
All right, we got this shirt loaded on the pallet here, and we're gonna get ready to send a few out and see how we did.
Oh.
So we got the shirt, it's nice and stuck to the plaid, so it's not gonna go anywhere. And I got all my environments set up, but I'm gonna double check.
So we went from testing a couple shirts to now running the production of it, and this should be pretty straightforward, right?
Really just push and go from here.
So as you guys can see, it's literally taking all the measurements, everything that was set for the test run is now being applied to the actual run, and these things will just shift and complete the design. So the setup is what takes a little bit longer when it comes to t-shirt printing, but your cost is going to be lower due to the volume, and you guys are doing a great job making it come out the way that we designed it. So while we're waiting for the printers to complete the shirts, Julian, what other services, as entrepreneurs or apparel brand owners, what other things should they be on the lookout in order to brand and market their business? And what type of things do you guys have available in-house?
Well, absolutely, you're going to need lots of marketing to promote your brand. And here we offer a lot of services, from offset printing to digital printing to our newest machine. We do trade show displays now.
Oh shit! So this machine does what?
It'll actually print directly on any material you put in here 2 inches thick.
Oh what?
glass,
That's pretty
PVC, metal,
This is awesome.
and
Full color.
full color.
So then, like, you guys are able to print the entire floor here?
Correct. It'll do a 4x8 sheet.
Oh shit.
So let's say you need a stand for a trade show or something like that, or the magic show or whatever. We can handle that here.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. So this machine does it all inside.
Correct.
How does the components of this thing look like?
Well, you got the table. This is a vacuum table.
Oh, damn. It's like a big ass DTG printer for
Correct.
for everything.
You have your print head, which if you're used to looking at a DTG print head, a little bit bigger. That's the
massive.
print head here.
Oh shit.
And this thing will lay down 4 colors plus white and clear.
Yeah. That's crazy. And look at the belt on that thing. So it just like slides through. This thing is just sliding through, printing on something.
And the table moves.
Oh shit. That's legit. That's awesome. So then you guys also have business card printing, right?
We handle business cards, direct mailings, flyers, postcards, anything marketing related that you are going to need as a business, we can handle here.
So one of the things that we're looking at right here is the actual cutter for the business card itself, right?
Correct.
So you just put this big stack of printed materials that you guys made on a different machine, and now it's just cutting it automatically.
Once you get done printing it, you print on full-size sheets, and then you come down and finish it and cut it down into the finished product size.
All right, you guys, so now that we got the printing completed, I want to jump into the reasons and the details as to why I chose screen printing versus DTG. But before we get into that, I just want to highlight some of the pros to screen printing. Now look, this design that we had, all of the designs that we had, were essentially just a 2-color design. We had an orange and a white, which is the designs that Mendo created. So they came out super clean in a screen printing design. And what I want to do right now is actually just put one of these on. So let me just grab this one right here. And as you guys can see, super important for you to have very crisp artwork in order for the designs to come out on the shirt. I'm very happy with how bright the whites came up against the black and the darker shirts, which is a pro to actually doing screen printing versus the DTG. Even though you can get really bright colors with DTG as well, it never comes out as super bright as maybe an actual screen printed design would. Now, another pro to actually using screen printing versus DTG is the fact that your cost and your price points are significantly lower than they would be if you're printing with a direct-to-garment printer. Now, the reason for that, guys, as we discussed, is the fact that even though you have a higher upfront cost when you're going to screen printing, like your setup fees that are involved, you guys saw the process of making screens, the adjustments of actually getting that order ready, everything takes a little bit of time, and you're essentially ordering in bulk, which is the reason that it gives you a significant discount versus going to a direct-to-garment printer and having to print one by one. Now, the setup to direct-to-garment printing is a lot more straightforward. A lot of it has to do with setting it up on the computer side of things and just kind of doing the pre-treatment. And as long as the printer knows what they're doing, you're gonna get a good quality print. But if you're considering on like doing it yourself with a direct-to-garment printer, there's always gonna be a learning curve to making sure that that pre-treatment and everything that you do is gonna work out. So that is a pro to t-shirt printing with screen printing, is the fact that you could essentially just use a plastisol ink, burn some of the screens, and there's a minimal learning curve, and you can get up and running and get a bunch of designs printed at a way lower cost than you would with direct-to-garment printing. Now, the reason for that, of course, is the volume, and that's something that you have to consider if you're gonna be doing screen printing, is you need to know that you gotta order at least 50 to 100 shirts of a single color or maybe a 2-color design in order for you guys to get those price breaks. So the reason that I chose screen printing with these designs is because I already knew where these designs and where these shirts that we ordered were gonna go. I know that they're gonna go to the Ground Up community, the people that subscribe to From the Ground Up Academy, and I knew that we were gonna have a market where we can easily ship them to. So for us, it made a lot more sense to reduce our cost by ordering in bulk and versus going to a direct-to-garment printing and paying a higher upfront cost for each individual product. Now, when it comes to creating your screens, everything's already made, so you already have that one-time cost that you can continue to reuse as you reorder your designs. As long as those designs stay consistent, you don't get charged a whole new fee each time you go back to the printer. All right, so if you're gonna order in volume, just make sure that you already have a distribution method, meaning a way for the shirts to get out. If you're testing ideas and you just kind of want to know, like, okay, is this design going to do good? Then definitely consider direct-to-garment printing. Direct-to-garment printing allows you to print full color, and it's not a crazy design and a crazy length of time, and they're not going to require that you order, 100 shirts of that design in order for them to print them for you. So that is the reason why I chose screen printing for these designs, and I really appreciate you guys for watching this video. This is a part of the series with starting a clothing line from scratch. So if you guys have any recommendations on where we should go with this video, leave them in the comments down below. All right, we want to expand on this topic, but we really need to hear some of your questions, your comments, and your concerns in order for us to take the next video in the direction that you guys see fit, right? And more importantly, huge shout outs to My Inked Apparel, to I Am Mendo from Mendo Creative, and to Bella Canvas for making this video possible and to continue helping us build this community and build the resources that we continue to share with you guys. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave a comment. And if you're new to this video, subscribe to the channel. And more importantly, make sure you check out the free resources, PDFs, and guides that we have available in order to continue helping you guys build your brand and business from the ground up. See you guys on the next video. Bye.